Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Kim.
And I'm in a good mood today, Kim, I gotta tell you.
Why are you in a good mood?
Well, you know, on the way to work today, I did something nice for someone. I was going to the store to get my regular coffee and my newspaper, and I saw this guy kind of sitting on the ground in front of the store. He looked like a homeless guy, like he didn't have anywhere to live and didn't have a lot of money. So when I bought myself a coffee, I also bought him a coffee. I decided to pay it forward.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah, well, you know, I just was in a kind of good mood and I thought it would be a nice thing to do on a nice day, you know, do a kind act for someone. So there you go.
So did you buy him that mocha whip frappuccino cappuccino, 4 shots espresso, sprinkles, cream, and ice cream combination?
No, I wanted to do something nice for the guy, not give him a heart attack with all that extra stuff. Plus, I wouldn't be able to order that coffee anyways. That's way too complicated. No, looking at him, he looked like an Americano kind of guy.
Oh.
So, and that's also what I got, so I just got 2 of the same thing.
Well, that was very nice of you.
I hope I should have, now I think I should have asked him.
He's like,
yeah, he's like, this isn't a low-fat mocha frappuccino. Anyways, so yes, I did do something nice. I paid it forward.
That's good.
As they say. You probably heard that term, you guys too, right? Doing something kind for someone just because you want to. So it looks like our article today is titled Pay It Forward with Suspended Classes.
So classes are stopped?
When I think of suspended classes, I think of when I was young and there was like a big snowstorm or a typhoon, they would suspend classes,
Yeah,
right?
no
like
class.
canceled for the day. So
Maybe no class would make students happy.
it would make them happy.
Well, let's find out.
First, there were suspended coffees. Then, there were suspended meals. Now, there are suspended classes. The goal behind these things is the same. People want to help others by paying it forward.
Okay, so yes, our title is Pay It Forward with Suspended Classes. Now, a lot of you might know when you talk about paying something forward, you're kind of talking about passing on a nice thing that a person does, a favor, a kindness. If someone does something nice for you, then you follow up and do something nice for another person. That way, we're always doing nice things and paying it forward, kind of like passing on your kindness. But this suspended classes.
I'm not quite sure what that's about. So
that's a new
let's
one for
see
me.
what our article begins with. It says, first, there were suspended coffees. Then there were suspended meals. Now there are suspended classes?
Okay, I'm not sure about the suspended classes, but yeah, I think we did an article about suspended meals a couple months ago. It was this thing, I think it started in Italy, and people would go to a coffee shop or a little restaurant, they would buy their lunch and also buy an extra lunch for someone who needed it. Someone like that man I saw in the store today, a homeless person. Then they can come to the coffee shop later and say, hey, is there a suspended meal for me? And they'll say, yes, here's some free food that somebody else, you know, paid for already.
Now, what I was thinking was sometimes you hear these stories from the States or from other places.
Sure.
Like you're going through the drive-thru at Starbucks or McDonald's or something, and you give the person your card and you say, hey, pay for the person behind me.
Okay.
Whatever they end up ordering.
Yeah, very similar. I guess with these suspended things, you're always making sure that someone who really needs it. I mean, maybe the guy behind you is driving a Mercedes-Benz.
He doesn't need that.
And he doesn't really need an extra free hamburger. But yeah, it's the same basic idea. And when we talk about something being suspended, basically we're kind of holding it back, okay? We could use it, we could do it, but for some reason, we're holding it back, all right? So basically, it means later on you can use it, but right now you're deciding kind of like to save it, to keep it for a rainy day, that kind of idea, all right? So let's find out about these suspended classes. That's a little more of a different idea. It says the goal behind these things is the same. Okay, so suspended coffees, suspended meal, suspended classes. The goal, what you're trying to do, is the same, even though the things are slightly different. What are you trying to do? People want to help others by paying it forward, by passing along a kindness, a good act, a favor.
Yeah, so the goal here is the same in all these situations.
Yeah.
The goal is the thing that you want to accomplish.
Right.
So if your goal is to get all 100s on your test this semester, that's the thing that you want to accomplish before school is over. The goal here is to pay it forward. That's what they're hoping to do by doing this act of kindness.
Exactly. Your goal, your mission, your objective, yeah, what you're trying to do. And it says with all of these things, even though the goals are different, the idea is the same, okay? And when something is the same, it's almost exactly alike. There might be a few small differences, but really, when you look at it, it's like they're copies. You might see twin sisters and say, they look the same. They look almost like they're standing in front of a mirror. They look like there's no difference between them, all right? And when we talk about paying something forward, well, we're not really talking about like walking forward.
No, we're not like throwing money forward or anything like that. No. So forward is that direction, to go forward, so to go in front of you, to walk in front of you. But when you use it in this phrase, pay it forward, it's the same idea but not literal.
Right.
So pay it forward is giving things to the next person, who gives it to the next person, who gives it to the next person in a kind of outward direction.
Interesting, and also kind of in a future time direction, like I look forward to seeing you. It's something that's coming, it's coming up soon, and it will be a good thing in the future. All right, well, in our future, we're looking forward to taking a break. So let's go and do that, and then we'll be back with more about suspended classes.
With suspended coffees, a person pays for 2 cups of coffee. Then, he or she takes one and leaves the other for someone in need. The same thing happens with suspended meals. With suspended classes, it is a little bit different. People only pay for classes for children in need.
And welcome back. So yeah, we're talking about paying it forward with suspended classes. Now, before we get to that, which we still aren't quite sure what suspended classes are, let's go back a little bit and talk about suspended coffees or meals.
Okay, it says with suspended coffees, a person pays for 2 cups of coffee.
Right.
Okay, then he or she takes one and leaves the other for someone in need. Okay, so just like you said, someone in need might be in need of a coffee. I know I'm in need of a coffee most of the time in the morning. So that would be really nice if someone would leave a suspended coffee for me.
That would be nice, but often when we talk about people in need, we're kind of talking about people who can't get it for themselves.
Oh, so not me.
So kind of like when you do charity, when you volunteer, you're helping out people in need, people who don't have enough money or food or a place to live. We could also, I guess, say animals in need.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people like to protect dogs and cats who live out on the street, want to protect them, clean them up, get them a nice loving home. When we say a person, well, you're a person, I'm a person, these are all people around us. It's the singular of the word people. So one person, 2 or more people.
So as Mike said, in need is when you don't have something like food or shelter, clothing, things like that, and you are in need of them. These are things that you need to survive. So we have charities like food banks, homeless shelters, and for animals, we also have animal shelters that help out these people or animals that are in need.
Exactly. Now, the same thing the article tells us happens with suspended meals. So suspended coffees, suspended meals, they're kind of the same. And yeah, when we use this word same, we mean exactly alike or very, very close. So in the same way that you buy a coffee for someone in need, with suspended meals, you buy food or a meal for someone in need. So the thing you're paying for might be different, but the idea is exactly the same.
Okay, now with suspended classes, it says it is a little bit different. People only pay for classes for children in need.
Okay, so here we're not talking about the classes the school normally would have. We're talking about extra classes that parents might pay for, but for kids whose families don't have a lot of money, they can get other people to pay for the classes. I like this idea.
Yeah, and I know that some of this extracurricular stuff, like things you do outside of your normal classes, sometimes they can get really expensive. If you're on the soccer or football team, you need to pay for a uniform, shoes, you might have to bring your own ball. So this thing can be a little bit difficult for people who don't have a lot of money.
Exactly. And then, of course, a lot of kids might need extra classes for the things they study at school, extra math, or help with their science or English. And then when I was a kid, my parents paid for music classes. My school didn't have any music, so they would pay for my piano lessons and things like that. And yeah, all of those things cost money. And if you're paying for them every week or even more often than that, for families without a lot of extra money, they basically can't pay for these things, so someone else could.
This is a great way for kids to experience something that they wouldn't normally get.
Exactly.
I like this idea. Yeah,
that's very, very cool. All right, well, that's about all the time we have for today on this topic, but we're going to have much more about suspended classes and how they're used and why they're such a good idea in tomorrow's article. So please do pay it forward. Come on back, join us for that, and maybe between now and then, try to do something nice for someone just because you want to do something nice. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
First, there were suspended coffees. Then, there were suspended meals. Now, there are suspended classes. The goal behind these things is the same. People want to help others by paying it forward. With suspended coffees, a person pays for 2 cups of coffee. Then, he or she takes one and leaves the other for someone in need. The same thing happens with suspended meals. With suspended classes, it is a little bit different. People only pay for classes for children in need.
Hi， 各位同学，大家好，我是维尼，一起来看看今天的新单字文法。这次呢，4个新单字的第一个是 coffee， 名词，咖啡。I drink coffee every morning， 我每天早上都会喝咖啡。第二个字是 goal， 名词，目标。What are your goals for the future？ 你对于未来有什么目标？第三个字是 same， 它可以是代名词，也可以是形容词，是一样的人事物。先看一下作为代名词的用法。I got a cheeseburger and my sister ordered the same. 我买了一个起司堡，然后我妹妹也点了一样的。再来看一下形容词的用法。We lived in the same city and went to the same school. 我们住在同一个城市，也读同一个学校。最后的生字是 person， 名词是人，那复数呢会是 people. She was the first person to wish me a happy birthday. 她是第一个跟我说生日快乐的人。接下来又到了学习新的片语 phrases 的时间咯。首先要介绍给大家的是 in need， 需要帮忙的，它是形容词片语，至于要修饰的名词之后。The right thing to do is to always help those in need， 总是帮助有需要的人才是正确的做法。接下来是 a little bit 加形容词，有一点怎么样。A little bit 是副词片语，表示程度上稍微有点，那也可以说 a bit 或是 a little。那这个字还蛮常用到的哦，比方说是 a little bit spicy 有点辣 ，a bit cold 有点冷 ，a little warm 有点热。看个例句 ，This shirt is a little bit tight。这件上衣有一点紧。那今天就到这边喽，拜拜。
Taitung Seashore Park is one of the best places to visit on Taitung's coast. Visitors can see some amazing art too. The Xiangyang tree is the center point of the park. The roof is made of wood, The wave patterns represents the flow of the ocean and the mountains. Every night, at 8 and 9 p.m., there is a music and light show. Make sure to stop and take a picture at one of the most popular photo spots here. You can visit Taitung Seashore Park anytime. It's open all year round.
See you next time!